Tom McShea. Oh, Tom McShea. When will you ever shut your mouth with your lame brain theories? Your reputation is being just as ridiculous as those half-ass idiots on The Motley Fool, because all you want to see is the opposite of Nintendo wanting to innovate and keep pressing forward despite the abysmal sales that the Wii U has on its plate right now. Believe it or not, folks, this guy has posted a new doom and gloom article that has become nothing but clickbait once again. First, it was the preview of a 3DS game that everyone is looking forward to, but now it is one that McShea believes is going to happen, but is impossible at the same time. While I talk about this article, enjoy the footage of Mutant Mudds Deluxe on the Wii U. The game is brilliant, as Renegade Kid is up there as one of my top favorite independent developers next to WayForward Technologies, Yacht Club Games, Concept, Gears for Breakfast, and some others. And I'm looking forward to the newest games that Renegade Kid is putting up in the near future for both the Wii U and the 3DS. Now, let's get back to business. Tom McShea's article is one that I have to draw your attention toward because I'm calling out this clown for his cynical thoughts on this story that is nothing but a farce. You'll see why in a minute after I tell you what he said. Tom McShea from GameSpot believes that Nintendo will quietly kill the Wii U now that Nintendo has begun its new initiative with the Quality of Life program. We all know that the details on this initiative are still very scarce at the moment, but McShea feels that this platform will immediately kill the Wii U and force Nintendo to get on the ball with working on a new console to greatly compete with Sony and Microsoft. Here's what he had to say, because I find it to be flawed in every corner, nook and cranny from his own words. The Wii U is performing dismally at retail. It's the depressing reality in which we live, and one that has caused us to think up ways to improve the console's fate. What if Nintendo no longer bundled it with the expensive gamepad, or partnered with outside studios willing to create exclusive games for the Wii U? Then maybe the system wouldn't lag so far behind its competitors. Though such moves might help Nintendo in the short term, they would be mere band-aids on an open wound. The Wii U is in a dire situation. I believe Nintendo has reconciled itself to that fact, and has already planned a way to bail from this sinking ship. Enter the Quality of Life platform. No one knows what to make of Nintendo's proposed QOL initiative, partly because we know almost nothing about it. Nintendo wants to improve people's lives in some indeterminate way, using non-wearable technology, and is going to introduce this nebulous product sometime next year. According to CEO Satoru Iwata, whatever the QOL platform is, it will be entirely separate from their gaming ventures. Iwata said, "When we use health as a key word, some may inevitably think about Wii Fit. However, we are considering themes that we have not incorporated to games from our existing platforms." But what if Nintendo has much grander plans for this mysterious device than they're letting on? This could be Nintendo's next big idea, an idea much more in demand than their ill-advised tablet controller, and one that could propel the company to the same heights it enjoyed during the peak years of the Wii. I really don't know where to begin with this statement, as he is only dreaming for the impossible to happen. I've said this when on the Game Riffers' own Rift Table Arcade, where I feel that Nintendo jumping ship from the Wii U, which Iwata is trying his damnedest to get it back on the right track, would be suicide for the company. They would be pulling off what Sega did with their consoles during their times in the hardware business before they went the route of the dinosaur. What does the Quality of Life initiative have anything to do with killing off the Wii U? If you haven't been paying attention to what Iwata said during that recent investors meeting from back in January, he says that Nintendo will continue to support their hardware and hopes to get it back on the right track. Namely, he wants to revive the movement of bringing back their dormant IPs so that they can help the company make money again. He wants the company to take better advantage of the NFC function on the Wii U gamepad because it still hasn't been fully utilized. He said that more mergers and buyouts will occur in hopes to garner more support for their gaming platforms. Did he even give any notion to kill off the Wii U during that event? No. Quality of life affects things outside of their hardware, but it also affects the hardware in some capacity too. This initiative is going to be utilized for their next generation hardware in the next few years, as the Wii U will start off that trend for about the last few years of its life cycle, before it becomes a full focus in the upcoming 9th generation of gaming. Killing off the Wii U when Iwata is always looking at long-term goals instead of the short-term goals, like you mentioned, is only a fool's wish. There's more that the Big N can do to help regain ground with their console. You and the rest of the naysayers keep preaching that the sales are bad. We get it! However, there are still games that are coming out for the platform that can help push sales for the Wii U, like Mario Kart 8 and the new Smash Brothers. We also cannot forget that independent developers have a hand in ensuring a platform's success, too. And I don't want to hear it that indie games don't count in growing hardware sales, as that is a bunch of BS. Independent developers put in much time and effort as big-name developers with creating their games so that everyone can play them. Right now, the industry is in very deep water as those bigger companies are getting too ambitious with their projects to where they have begun to dip in their financial status quickly. Irrational Games did a major overhaul in scaling back their team because of how smaller developers are becoming more successful in this day and age. Crowdfunding has been a significant revolution in game development, as that is how smaller teams make those games become available to everyone. And if you take a look at the sales of games through the digital services for all platforms, indie games have actually sold more on the eShop than the likes of Steam, PSN, and the Xbox Live Arcade combined, because of how well Nintendo has treated the independent developers within these past few years. That is like Nintendo's secret weapon to ensure success in the long run, as the ones who are failing like Capcom are only bringing themselves closer to shutting down. I really don't want that to happen, but it may be for the best if someone like Nintendo doesn't buy them. McShea, I just don't understand what you think, because your theory suffers from huge knots that can't be easily untied. You think it should be for the best that Nintendo drops the Wii U because of them trying their hardest to get back on the right track, but that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One should remain fine when it is a fact that both Sony and Microsoft are respectfully suffering losses within their company on a yearly basis more than Nintendo has? If anything, you should be asking these questions on what everyone can do to save themselves. Nintendo is not the only company that you and every single person who despises them should spread all that criticism towards, as Sony and Microsoft are just as guilty as them. You think that dropping these doom and gloom articles or crap previews on Nintendo games and hardware to bring everyone to their knees is good for today's business? Well, I got a newsflash for you, Tom. It's getting old, and that type of work is only making you immature. I hate to do this, Tom McShea, but I just called you out because you didn't do your homework, as you only care about views and no logic. That cannot function in this world anymore. Just like how a vast majority of publishers and developers on both sides of the industry need to cooperate with each other more than just being isolated from themselves. Since your poor review and slander towards Skyward Sword in 2011, you are nothing more than a joke, Tom McShea, and I pity you, heavily. Alright folks, this is RPG signing off by saying for you to rate this video, as well as leaving your positive and negative feedback down in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content coming from me in the future that you won't find anywhere else. In the end, I say to you all, Godspeed and game on, gamers. Have a good one.